In today's video, I am building my friend a super high-end and aesthetic gaming PC. So let's see the budget and build the best PC we can. So my friend, let's call him Josh. Josh is willing to spend up to $2,000 on this PC. So let's figure out what's best. First things first, I knew my current PC was close to that price, but not quite. So I started looking at those same specs. I figured a 7000X3D bundle would be perfect. And it's still one of the best CPUs for gaming. $599 after tax is what the bundle came out to be, and I knew it'd be perfect for an all-white build, which is what we decided on at a Discord call. Now, the 7000X3D runs pretty hot, so we went for a beefy cooler instead of an AIO, so it lasts longer with the same performance. And honestly, I think it looks pretty nice too. And most importantly, the case. I'd recently gotten a really nice deal on this NZXT H6 Flow, so we decided on that one. And lastly, the most difficult part was finding a GPU, as we still had $800 or more to spend, but finding a GPU in stock was nearly impossible. After days of waiting, refreshing every page, Micro Center finally got some in stock. So I made the trip the next day, looked around, and snagged one. Man, look at all these GPUs. And the GPU, of course, is the 9070 XT. Now, you're probably thinking, that is not $800. That's like $700, and that's true, but there's no 5070 Ti's at MSRP, so we didn't get that. It was just the best value option, and obviously he doesn't need anything better than that. So that's everything. Price looks amazing. Still getting a very high-end PC, I know from experience, because this is basically my exact same PC. Anyways, we better get to building before Josh changes his mind. All right, so starting us off, we have this B650E motherboard from Gigabyte. I'm very excited because this motherboard is pretty darn good. It includes so many good features, and that is why I decided this one as well. Man, look how clean that is. And since we're dealing with a pretty large budget, we have this 7800X3D from AMD. Now this is a top 3 contender for best gaming CPUs on the market. And to mention, I got these two and the RAM in a bundle on Newegg, so I was able to save a little bit of money there. Never gets old. Now to quickly install this, we're just gonna pull back this lever, pop back this guard, and then we can take our CPU out of this. And then it just easily slots right in. Now just put this back, and then we're gonna have to apply some force here. Boom, we're locked into place. Now the most stressful part for some people is already done, but we got way more to go. Now this wasn't the exact RAM that came with the bundle, but I substituted it for this white model. It's actually a 6400 megahertz, and I got this for a pretty decent deal a while back. Basically, I just spent anywhere from like $80 to maybe $85 on RAM. They're getting cheaper and cheaper as we speak, so depending on when you see this, I don't know. We're gonna pop back our second and fourth slot here. Then we can easily slot in a RAM, apply some force till it clicks. Now, last thing to actually install onto our motherboard is this 2TB NVMe. When you're building a PC that's expensive, I definitely recommend 2TB at least. But yeah, this is a nice Gen 4 model, nothing insane. Not having to use screws is just so amazing. Anyways, we're gonna take our NVMe here, boom, just lines right up. And then we're just gonna make sure it twists right in there. Now we can take off this plastic, and we have to use this to slot it back in. Now that part wasn't super easy. And now we're not exactly quite done. We have our CPU cooler here. And I went for air cooling even with an expensive PC because it's just more reliable and can provide sometimes better cooling than a 360mm AIO. Definitely better than 240mm. And right here we have a Thermalright one. And everything will be linked down in the description. Now, first we got screw kit. Now, screw bag we need is this red one right here, and then the rest of what's here. Now we're gonna undo these brackets. Now we're gonna place all these red standoffs. All right, now we're gonna be using these brackets, even though they say AM4 on them. Facing in like this, and just screw them in. Now we're gonna take our ginormous heatsink, which has a digital display, by the way. Actually, real quick, I'm gonna apply some thermal paste. We're gonna take our heatsink, peel off this plastic. Now we're gonna line it up. Can you take this off? And we come with 2 ARGB fans from Thermalright. And to install these, you just use this bracket right here. Put it in like so. And yeah, we can just kind of slide it in here. Doesn't sound too pretty. And then the same right here. This is actually the lowest this one can go. Actually, right now we can plug in the fan cords, which plug into CPU fan right around here. We'll worry about the RGB later. Yeah, everything done with the motherboard now, and let's move on to the case. All right. we have the NZXT H6 Flow RGB. Now, there has been some controversy with the NZXT, but I'm only using this because it was $65 after tax at one point for a sale. It's still a very good case, and a lot of people actually really like this one specifically. So this is my first time using it, as it was actually budget. This thing is definitely made out of pretty good quality. All right, let's open this bad boy up. Unscrew, pop it off. And man, this quality is something else, I have to say. And now we're gonna take off the back here so we can access the screw box. Now it's time to install the motherboard. All right, so good thing is we don't have to remove any standoffs. Now let's move this heavy. Just slide this in. And we're gonna take these guys right here to screw in the motherboard. And that's all screwed in. Looking pretty good so far. Now we're gonna plug in some things to the motherboard. All right, right here, we got our little starter pack that we need. Always comes with every case. And what I like to do is route the cables in the back, and we're gonna be doing them in order. HD audio, we're gonna route it down the bottom right to the bottom left of the motherboard. We're gonna plug in our F panel on the bottom left here. Then take our USB 3.0, it's gonna slide in here, I believe. Then we're gonna take our Type C, also around here. All right, so on the bottom left, we're gonna plug in our HD audio. Right here on the left side of the bottom right, we're gonna plug in our F panel. Then USB 3.0 kind of goes in like this. And then Type C wraps around like this. Yeah, almost everything plugged in the motherboard. All right, now we have to deal with all the fans and the RGB. An amazing thing about our cooler is our RGB can connect to each other and then plugged into the motherboard. So that is what I'm gonna do. And with our motherboard, we have two slots on the bottom for that. So that and the USB are just gonna go through the bottom here. So this core can barely not fit into the motherboard. So I have to use this little splitter here. It was probably $2 on AliExpress or something, so that kind of sucks. But this also allows two RGB ports for any other fans. It could fit two on the bottom. So we're just gonna do that.
Approximately 10 hours later.
All right, so here we have everything plugged into the motherboard. HD audio, RGB, our USB for this thing, system fan, F panel, USB 3.0 Type C. Now we just need some power. Which the way to achieve that, we need a power supply. We have the Sama GT 850 watt. And I got this for under 100, so I guess we'll take it. There wasn't any crazy deals at the time. Oh, it even comes with a white power cable. And here we have all the cords. We don't need most of them. And yeah, here's the power supply. All right, so all we need is a CPU, one for the motherboard, and a PCIe. Now, super easy to plug these in. Motherboard like that, along with the extra power. And the CPU and PCIe go in the same spot, the same spots. And this is amazing for cable management, as we don't really need to do any. Now, I'm just gonna route these cables where they go. Put the PCIe down below, and then CPU up top. All right, so we're plugging in right here. Boom. Already plugged in the CPU, and we're about ready. It might be time where we installed the 9070 XT. This one's the ASRock Steel Legend model, all white, matches the PC perfectly. Let's do this. First, I'm gonna take out these brackets here. Boom. All right, here we go. Pop back. Slot in. We'll screw that in. But here we have it. For me, a $1,650 gaming PC with a 7800X3D and a 9070 XT. Pretty kitted out. This could play any game, 1440p and 4K. And man, doesn't it look clean? Let's get it started. All right, so here we have Fortnite at 1440p, all low performance mode, because that's just what I recommend. And yeah, already we're seeing over 500 FPS, which is just insane. I mean, why is there a dog in Fortnite? Base boost? What the? No idea what this thing does. What the heck? This computer's running pretty good. I mean, 600 FPS is pretty insane and overkill. Yeah, you can run this game at higher settings, but honestly, like, most people don't. So that's why I'm only testing performance mode here, which is obviously plenty. So, all right, so here we have Call of Duty Black Ops 6. I'm using a balanced preset right now at 1440p, so let's see how this goes. I still think the game looks pretty dang good. All right, so we're getting around 150 to 160 FPS here, which honestly, I'll take. It's pretty solid. The game looks pretty good at 1440p here, so. All right, now I'm gonna put it at Ultra preset, and we are using FSR3, just so you know, for these, which I think still works pretty well. And as we can see, the frames have barely dropped. All right, I'm gonna run it on a balanced preset without AMD FSR. As we can see, over 200 FPS, 240 a lot of times. It's not super consistent, as we can see, but this game runs pretty good. I will say that on this PC. All right, so here we got Marvel Rivals. We are running this AMD FSR3 quality and super resolution mode, and then medium settings. I'm running a bit of Ultron because none of my team wants to play healer, and I don't either, to be honest. So as we can see, we're getting constantly over 150 FPS here. Pretty good. I mean, I honestly recommend running this game at low settings, which we're gonna run low settings here, and we're gonna turn off upscaling. Keep in mind, we had upscaling on before. That's why I'm just fine with playing the game at, honestly. Let's make it all just performance settings here. With all performance settings, we have over 240. I mean, wow, this is... I personally use 180 hertz monitors, so honestly, and I have this exact same PC loadout pretty much. So yeah, definitely recommend this. This game is kind of dying though, unfortunately, I will say that. Whoa, great game, yes sir. Definitely recommended. Definitely still performs pretty good on this game, and I would just run it at all low settings or performance settings if you want to call it that. Anyways. All right, we have a bit of a different one here. We have Splitgate 2. Everything is on ultra settings, 1440p, no upscaling. Let's turn on super resolution actually. All right, we're still getting like around 200 plus FPS anyways. I mean, the game is turned up all the way, and yeah, over 200 FPS. I mean, it seems a bit ridiculous. And I'm just kind of showing that there's games out there like this game, even though it's got a lot going on, with all ultra settings, it still runs plenty of FPS in my opinion. All right, so now we're on Cyberpunk, and I'm gonna be running FSR here. Let's start on ray tracing medium, but let's see how this performs. And boom, 127 FPS on average with ray tracing medium. Texture quality high, 1440p. I'm gonna run it without ray tracing here. Ultra settings, still has high texture quality and 1440p. And with that, we have 150 FPS on average. So, you know, any game pretty much can run on this PC. Ultra settings, 1440p. I mean, any game can run on this PC at high settings. That is pretty much what I've gotten from this benchmarking test. And that will be it for benchmarking.